here. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Show, coming to you live from the Richard Lucas Chevrolet and Subaru studio right here in rainy, nasty Matawan, New Jersey. It is Sturch. It is, I mean, look, you know what kind of day he had yesterday, so maybe he hasn't shown up for work yet as he stumbles into the office, just in peril. Gooch eventually coming on board. Of course, Wrestler Rob behind the glass, A5 Anthony, the intern, not the intern anymore, but that's literally what you're labeled in as my phone, A5 intern, so I got to change that anyway. And of course, Ashmere Fit in the building as well. Hope everybody's doing well out there, except for Chris, and hope everybody had a great weekend. I know we did. Originally on Saturday, we had a great turnout at Matawan Day. It was a fun time. We got a bunch of subscribers. We gave away an autographed jersey that was a mystery jersey until we busted it open. Some little kid. Let me tell you something, man. All right, I'm not trying to get emotional here, but the little joy in that little kid's eyes when he got to win that Amari Cooper signed jersey, it was dope. It was a Browns jersey, brand new. So very excited for that guy. Very excited for overall just a great day, great turnout, great weather. Yes, and Rube is, of course, you knew Rube was going to be first as he's got the brooms out and he's got Yankee Elimination Day better than Matawan Day.
Settle down, Rube.
Yeah, I mean, it's like just not for nothing. Let's be honest here. No, we're gonna get into it, but we will. But I'm just saying, what kind of life do you live if you celebrate someone's loss harder than your win?
Well,
because that's that. Well, but the Mets were the best team in baseball. They had the best pitchers in baseball. They should have won the World Series. They should have coasted into the World Series, except they didn't because they choked and they're gone. And the Yankees played an extra week of baseball, which provided me with, yes, stress and anxiety, but at the same time, it was extra baseball. All right. And if we can't get past the Astros, we'll get them next time. But we'll get into that and all that shit in a little bit. Again, hope everybody's doing well out there. Hope everybody's enjoying their football Sunday. Again, except for Chris, we'll get into it as we go. I know there's Jets fans around these buildings, meaning Rob, who is enjoying a 5-2 start along with myself, and Toomph Anthony over there enjoying a 6-1 Giants start. So it's all good sunshine over here on a cloudy day. Again, except for Chris.
We get it, dude.
No, I'm just gonna keep banging that home. No, I'm kidding. Let's get into the rundown, I guess, brought to you by Absolute Eyewear today. And, of course, if you use the code or the phrase Chop Sports at Absolute Eyewear, they'll give you $100 off lenses and glasses. Gooch, your rundown should just consist of basically, I mean, we have a lot.
Well,
there's a lot of
the
stuff.
Yankees are eliminated. The Padres are eliminated. The World Series is set. We have a good one, I guess. I'm all in on the Phillies. Go Phillies. I definitely can't see the Astros win a World Series.
Harper is my
Bryce
dude.
Harper's a douchebag, but
I love
I'm still rooting for the Phillies. And whether he's a douchebag and what I think of Bryce Harper is irrelevant. The dude raked in the NLCS.
He
had 4 bangers in the
NLCS
alone. I'm not positive because it's the National League and nobody cares about the National League. But I'm just so bitter right now. But we're gonna get through it. I promise. UFC did take place in Abu Dhabi on Saturday afternoon. It was unfortunate that it was an afternoon card because nobody really got to watch it. At least I didn't the way I would have liked. But just to go over a couple of the results that took place, Bilal Muhammad knocked out Sean Brady in the prelims main event. Bilal Muhammad isn't lost in a long time. He did have a no contest with Leon Edwards that I think he was losing. It is worth mentioning, but Bilal Muhammad in a good spot right now to contend for a title soon in the welterweight division. Sugar Show won a split decision. It's highly contested on the Twitterverse that against Piotr Jan. I honestly watched the fight back. I have no problem with the decision after I watched it back. Sugar Show definitely beat him up on the feet. He outstruck him. Significant strikes was almost double. Jan did have 6 takedowns, but I don't know. I'm actually happy that the judges in this case just don't reward taking somebody down. Although Jan was doing some work on the ground, there was really no imminent threat of him finishing the fight at any point. Give Sugar Show some credit. He took that fight. I didn't think he would. And he went to a place, his words, not mine, that he never has gone before in a fight. So Sugar Show on his way.
Sugar Show.
Aljamain Sterling and TJ Dillashaw, very anticlimactic, typical of a Aljamain Sterling fight these days. But he did solidify himself because he was dominating the fight. And TJ got TKO'd because his shoulder kept popping out of place. And you can't fight with a dislocated shoulder. So Aljo, the true champion over there now, and see who's next for him. He's talking about Marlon Vera. Not so sure about that one. But in the main event, Islam Makhachev, the Khabib guy, submitted Charles Oliveira in the second round.
No, felt quicker than that.
Yeah, we weren't really paying attention because it was at Mattawan Day that we were watching.
Shout out to Tommy D for streaming it on his little phone.
But yeah, he made light work of him. Oliveira is a very game opponent, one of the most dangerous guys on the ground in UFC history, and he got subbed. So you could that just says enough about what Khabib's doing with those guys over there in wherever the fuck they train in Dagestan, I think. And Khabib's cousin, I don't even know I know it's something blank. Nurmagomedov, Khabib's cousin, got into a fight.
Saw that
in the post fight with Khamzat, the psycho lone wolf or the big bad wolf that everybody doesn't want to fight.
I just felt like they were on the same team.
They're not.
I know.
Just because they're Russian and Muslim,
yes,
doesn't make them.
But that's what I was going for.
Brothers.
But yeah, brethren.
So Islam, I think what's going on is Bilal Muhammad trains with Khabib now. So Bilal Muhammad is on Team Khabib. He's over there training with those guys. And after his fight, he called out Khamzat. So it only makes sense that there's a little bit of a dust up. That's the UFC for you.
Save us, Colby. Save us.
Enough about baseball. We do have basketball. I'm not going to talk about it.
Enough about baseball?
I mean, yeah, enough about baseball, enough about UFC. We have a bunch of football to get into, so we're going to skip that on the rundown. Injuries are aplenty across the NFL.
I mean, I'm definitely talking baseball.
Well, I'm talking about my fucking rundown. And I really have no desire to talk about like firing Aaron Boone. We should, but here we go. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Chris. Back to the World Series. Look, there is stuff to talk about with baseball. I'm not going to brush over the fact that we got swept by the Astros. I think it's junk. I think it's tough sledding from the start last night. Nestor Cortez gets hurt, or at least aggravates a injury that already was kind of alluded to. I just need to talk about the cringeworthy efforts that the Yankees put in to get them all riled up for this Game 4. One, I heard that they showed him the 2004 documentary about the Red Sox beating the Yankees. I don't get to understand that one. Having Big Papi FaceTime during a manager. Like, what is this team? What exactly did you think you were going to accomplish by talking to all these rivals and all the bad history of the New York Yankees?
Aaron Boone was like 1 year removed from that team. If he didn't have an injury that off season,
we would have never got A-Rod.
We wouldn't have gotten A-Rod, and Aaron Boone was on the team that we had A-Rod in that debacle in the.
It's just when you look at a Yankees team like this, there's so many moves to be made, and now all eyes are on the winter meetings, and all eyes are on now free agent. Technically, if you want to be real technical about this, Aaron Judge is no longer a Yankee right now. He is a free agent, right? So that's very, very alarming. But after talking to a couple people over the course of the weekend and seeing what he did in the playoffs, and again, nobody hit in the playoffs. It ain't just an Aaron Judge thing. Nobody did. Shout out to Harrison Bader. I hope he's the everyday center fielder for the rest of time. I love the kid, right? And he's the only one that hit. But when it comes to Judge, Chris, do we live in a world now that you save that money and spread the wealth where we need it?
Where do we need it?
We need pitching. We need a catcher. We need a shortstop. We need a fucking second baseman. We need an outfielder if we lose Judge. There's a lot of holes. We need bullpen help. There's a lot of holes.
Then we lose Judge, right? And then they say, oh, we're saving for this big free agent class that they've been saying for fucking 15 years at this point. And we never make any big splash moves in free agency. We watch the Dodgers do it. We watch now the Mets are doing it. We watched
the Phillies look like a completely different team.
We watched the Phillies do it with
Bryce Harper and
you're seeing all these teams that are going all in on the roster that they have constructed as is, and then they add to it. The Yankees they're not doing the same thing. They're adding guys like LeMahieu, which I like DJ LeMahieu as a player, but when we're talking about the contract he's worth right now, he's not on the field, and he was essentially being paid $20 million to be a utility player this year for the Yankees. They're not doing it right. When we're talking about the Yankees lineup, I understand that this could be met both ways. If Aaron Boone didn't change the lineup, right? If he didn't do anything and they're like, well, the Yankees aren't hitting, he's got to do something. We could have ridiculed Aaron Boone for not making any changes, but this is the ALCS, and you have 3 different shortstops playing in 4 games. The lineup was changed every single game. Like they were in peril at the worst time of the season. And I understand the injuries took place, but Aaron Boone, the comments about the roof being open, he just made it hard.
It's all cringeworthy shit.
Made it hard. When you start getting memed because you're making it hard on the fan base. We already didn't really like you. Now I got to deal with seeing fucking Rube on Twitter making posts about.
Well, it's over now. I mean, like,
well, no, it's not. I'm sure it's not. But
I mean, how long can you possibly celebrate a Yankee loss?
It is what it is. Like, this is what makes sports great. The bullshit that we're dealing with right now, the same feeling the Mets had a week ago or week and a half ago or whatever it was. That's what makes it all great. When Naylor hit the bomb and talked shit, and we got to shut him down. Like,
Paulman made a comment. Like, Cole was a pretty big splash. That was only a couple of years ago. It was.
All right.
I'm just saying they do spend the money. They've traded for Stanton. He's got a fucking 10-year contract.
So fair. They got Garrett Cole. I'll give you that.
But I mean, like,
so you're gonna let Aaron Judge walk so we could have Garrett Cole? Get the fuck out of here.
They already have both of them.
But
they already have both of them. So that's solidified.
But my point is, it's like we have Garrett Cole, right?
Yeah.
And then because we signed Garrett Cole, that be the reason why we need to save money and spread the wealth.
Look, you're not going to hear anybody
Yankees
bang on the chest that we need Aaron Judge. Yes, 100%.
I don't want to hear.
It's just that there's now whispers, and now because of the playoff performance, there are whispers, and you have to take that in consideration. You can't just omit the fact that he didn't do shit in the playoffs.
It's dog shit to me. It's not that he didn't do shit. Nobody did shit in the playoffs. There was
but look at this Yankee team. Off to the start.
Spread the wealth to the other guys that didn't hit.
But I'm saying you're missing the point. But
I am, I guess, because it's not like I can't sit here in negotiations with Aaron Judge when we have the other teams around baseball that are willing to throw him a ton of money and us be like, well, you didn't hit in the playoffs. He's going to be like, okay, motherfucker.
Like I said,
62 home runs.
The Yankees are going to offer him a boatload of cash. I just hope this isn't detrimental to filling the other needs like the Yankees need. And they absolutely need other pieces. And I just hope that they don't hang their hat on, well, we gave Judge all this money, so now we're kind of strapped. So you're kind of stuck with IKF, which, by the way, fire him into the sun. Like, that double play, everybody saw it, right? The double play. Like, me and you can make that double. We could turn that double play.
I think that
I haven't played competitive baseball in fucking 15 years.
They've seen at least enough out of the Cabrera kid to at least give him a shot.
Sure. But IKF,
out of the gate,
get out
on opening day. Yeah, I mean, IKF can go.
There's guys that are out. I'm talking Donaldson. You called it from jump. I just thought we need a gritty player like that. Guy was trash. Terrible, bro. Terrible in the playoffs. And you know what? Not for nothing. Think about how many moments that Josh Donaldson may have had. I can count them on one hand as a Yankee this year. Goodbye. You have to double clutch every time you throw the ball to first. Goodbye.
Why keep Carpenter in the lineup when he's like going 0 for 9, 0 for
Because
8?
he provides at least a little pop, and we don't have many lefty bats.
That's what they were.
So that's 100% why he keeps getting trotted out there, even if he was playing like shit. But, bro, some of these swings, I'm talking just fanning
I
that
believe
ball.
100%.
I'm like,
I saw that.
Oh, boy, they can't hit for shit. And you know what the problem is? The problem is there's going to be a fall guy, right? And if we have to stick with fucking Cashman and we got to stick with Boone, the hitting coach will get fired or something like that, where they need to make a move.
That's not going to get it done.
No shit, but I'm telling you what the Yankees are going to do. They need a fall guy.
Rube's saying like you need to replace 6 of your 9 starting guys and plus SP and RP, and signing Judge prevents you from doing that. Like, not really, dude.
I mean, look, I wrote down here that I would like Rizzo, stock up. I think that guy's a baller still.
Yeah.
Who else do I have here? I have somebody else. Oh, Harrison Bader. I like him. He's on the cheap, right? That's 2. Stanton, you're stuck with because of the contract. That's 3. And he's still a good ball player. You can't tell me he's not. So right there's 3 solidified positions. Your catcher absolutely needs an upgrade. I liked the story of Trevino. I liked Higashioka. I do. But those aren't starting MLB catchers. They're not. They're just not. I mean, they can't produce when you need the big hit. When I think of catcher, I think of a guy that's supposed to spark your lineup. If you're not a good hitting catcher, like, yes, defense is great, but at the same time, man, you got to have a bat. And we didn't have any pop in our catchers whatsoever. When Higashioka hit a home run, you would think the world was about to end because everybody's like, what the fuck just happened?
I think there's like more glaring issue is the bullpen. The Yankees bullpen is shitty, and they could fix the bullpen on the cheap. You don't have to spend a ton of money. And usually,
there was a lot of
injuries
in the bullpen.
When you spend a ton of money on the bullpen, it usually backfires anyway. Because
Chapman,
those guys
goodbye.
always get hurt.
We already know that.
Dave, who was the guy walking back to the dugout like with a smile on his face?
That was Donaldson. Donaldson. That one pissed me right off, man. And like people like that was like a nervous smile, like almost like almost had him. Like I truly don't think he cares. I mean, look, we all say this. The fans care more than the players because the players are the millionaires. We all know this. This is like not breaking news to anybody, but at the same time, it just feels a little bit shittier. I would have much rather lost to a scrappy Indian team in 5 than I would to get swept by the Astros in 4.
Guardians.
Whatever. Guardians. I would have rather lost to those guys for hitting the ball here and there and then having to deal with Mr. fucking Rocket Baby, whatever. Like, I would have rather lost that than to go out there and show us nothing in 4 games. 0. Very, very piss poor performance by the Yankees. I don't know where you go from here. The first order of business is obviously Aaron Judge, but the guy making that decision might also be shitty. You know, like if Cashman's the guy that's paying the players,
Cashman's not going anywhere.
You would think, but they got to build a different team, man. We say this every October, every November, that the Yankees are boom or bust. They're built to hit the home run. And if they don't hit the home run, they ain't hitting shit. And it's tiring at this point because you got guys like Houston with 8-9 batters, bro. 8-9 batters taking walks, getting hits. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit don't happen for us. So that's the missing piece. You need a scrappy team. You can't just rely on 2, 3, 4 hitters like Judge, Stanton, and fucking whoever else to just blast one over the wall and we'll be fine.
I didn't expect the Yankees to be in the spot that they were in. Going into the year, I was looking at the Yankees roster and be like, well, they're not that good, right? So I think that they overachieved for the season. When we talk about the Yankees, when they were 6-6, they lost to the Orioles. We were like, oh, this season's over. And like, honestly, it was almost for good reason, though, because we did not expect the Yankees to go on the run that they did. They played really well for a crazy stretch, and it made everybody think that the Yankees were a better team than they were. And then we saw the wheels come off, and then they kind of righted the ship a little bit, but they were just a good team. They were not this.
They coasted into the playoffs. They coasted. There was no effort needed. We were up 10 games. And when we even went down to 3 games, we're like, you know what? We win a couple here. We're back up to 5.
But they were what they showed in the second half more so than what they showed in the first.
100%.
How long do they wait now till they can talk to Judge? How long
World
should
Series.
they wait?
They have to wait.
As soon
as the World Series is over,
they
season's
start
end.
right
Yeah,
away.
that's it. It's it. But again,
I mean, I could be wrong on that for a fact. I don't know the exact time
calendar year thing. I don't know.
But yeah, basically,
as of right now, he cleared his locker out of Yankee Stadium last night, and the nameplate gets removed until he's back. Yeah, it's scary. It's very scary. You couldn't get it done last year. And look,
I don't know that they're going to go all that route.
What I'm saying, of course, yeah, they're not going to have a video, like an emotional video of his nameplate getting tossed off. But what I'm saying is the locker's clear, my friends. It's vacant. You know, like, you have to make a move right now. Is one of the best players, if not the best player in baseball. You know, there's other guys that are just as, I think they're caliber players like Judge, but Judge is a generational guy, I think.
Well, we can't expect, I hope nobody expects that type of season again.
Tully just snack saying Tim Anderson and Jose Abreu are free agents. I'll take Tim Anderson over Donaldson over that bullshit.
Tim Anderson's
swap
it. Gonna be very expensive.
Both 300 hitter. Jose Abreu, yeah, good, yeah. Well, again, if you're a 300 hitter in today's day and age, bro, your price tag.
So the Yankees should sign Tim Anderson to $1 billion contract instead of Judge, because he's going to get paid a lot of money.
No. Look, they all know what priority number 1 is. It's just a matter of how much you go out there and bend over backwards for this guy. That's all I'm saying. You give him a blank check, probably not, but I guarantee the Giants would. You know, I guarantee those other contending teams that might be in for his services.
The Giants for 6 years, 240. The Yankees have got to beat that.
You would think. And I don't think Uncle Steve's going to make a play. I don't, but at the same time, you know him. He loves attention. He's a whore for that shit, man. He can go on Twitter right now, but I'm feeling like kind of judgy this morning.
I don't really feel too worried about Aaron Judge. I guess once it gets a little bit closer, maybe we can get a little more worried. But right now, I'm just sick to my stomach over the whole
situation. Should they give him the captain thing, like Nestor said? Like, do we want him back? He's our captain.
Yes,
right away.
Yes, okay. Absolutely, 100%. They fucking made Chambers in right field for him. They redid a section of their stadium for this guy. People are wearing wigs, looking like morons every home game. What's up,
Chris Payne? You think the Yankees make a run at DeGrom?
Oof.
I mean, maybe to counter his point about driving up the price, like there's going to be a ton of teams that make a run at DeGrom that have zero.
He's a Brave, by the way.
Zero actual interest. The Braves are not paying him.
I'll bet you he does.
The only way that he's a Brave is if he agrees to take less money somewhere. The Braves are not going to give him the biggest.
My man's got a Braves tattoo on his body. So grew up loving the Braves. Now the Braves are available. The Braves are a better team right now.
The Braves aren't even going to sniff like the 45 mil a year that he's going to get.
Do you honestly think that Steve would give him that money? A guy who barely's pitched in the last 2 years?
Yeah. I think DeGrom is going to get a record-setting deal.
Oh, look at that. Goes to Texas.
He's going to get a record-setting deal. So when you're in a position to get the most money ever, usually you go after that. I don't know that. Like I don't know DeGrom personally, but the Braves, it's going to be a significant difference. They just don't have it. They don't pay players like that. They're not going to all of a sudden. You see the way they operate. all their guys are signed and they're young. That's fake. DeGrom would love to go to the Braves, but it's not going to line up with the finances. Ain't gonna.
Yeah, I'm listening. Of course, you're a young guy, still relatively young, and you're gonna get the highest bidder. But I'm just saying, Braves might be a play. All right. So before we get into week 7 of the NFL, I do want to let you guys know that this show is being brought to you in part by the Richard Lucas Chevrolet and Subaru dealership over at Avenel and Woodbridge, New Jersey. Go check out my boy George over there. My friend Artie's over there. You got my boy Greg over at Subaru. All my good friends over there. They'll take great care of you if you want to drive the all-new Blazer, just like me. You could be just like me and drive a Blazer. It's just like it's an Equinox, which is considered a mom vehicle you take the mom out of it, and you got the Blazer with a better engine. So go check out the Blazer. If you're a truck guy, they got Chevy. It's truck month literally every month over there. Go check those guys out. The Pickett app. Go use the Pickett app to track all your bets. Yesterday and the day before, I got so busy and so wrapped up in so many things, I couldn't make a damn bet. Not one. I don't know why. I missed it all, but according to Chris, things didn't go, great or bad. So I just kind of missed the weekend. But if you want to track all that stuff, you can get out over to Pickett. Download that app right now. Our friends over at Hater Fantasy Sports, those guys are giving away more playing games every week. They had a great game yesterday, another free game. So go check out Hater Fantasy Sports, where you're basically drafting daily fantasy type shit, but getting the worst players possible on purpose, but with a cap. So obviously, you know the deal, DraftKings, you have to spend a certain amount. Well, you have to do that here too. And of course, our friends down the hall at Lowell's, who had a very successful Matawan day the other day, line out the door, if there was a door on an outdoor place. But they did makeup and stuff, and they painted Tommy D's face like Road Warrior Animal. You had to be there to see it. He looked like an absolute fool. And it was fun. So that'd be that. Rob.
Yes, sir.
2 weeks in a row, bro.
Oh yes.
7-5 in the picks. Myself and Gooch 4-8. So picking up a couple games there. Gooch is still he is now 53 and 55, 2 games under 500. 51 and 57. That's 6 games under 500. And Rob, ever so slowly, crawling back, and he's now 6 games back in the loss and win column. So he's got to make up some time. And of course, Toomph Anthony is 7-1. So yeah, I mean, we're getting there. What
the fuck is that, dude?
What is what?
7-1.
I mean, you want to roll with Toomph Anthony? Then you should pay attention to the Thursday show. Which, by the way, programming note, there will be no Thursday show this week, as me and Chris are venturing up to Montclair State University to speak to all the Utes out there who have a dream and a passion to do what we're doing. That's get paid to talk sports and good stuff like that. So, and of course, the journey of getting there. So, programming note, no show on Thursday. We'll be back on Friday. Thursday, though, could be lined up for a big afternoon with a very special guest for the Fight Factory. So we'll figure that all out. Yeah, time to get to Sunday, boys and girls. I also, did I not? Yeah, as he's pointing at it, I didn't say this. You can support Chop Sports by heading on over to patreon.com/Chop Sports. We do want to thank a couple of our new Patreon members. Appreciate you guys as always. You guys help keep the lights on over here, so we really appreciate that. And of course, if you want to check out mojo.com right now, Rob had himself a little successful day out at Texas, Arizona?
Texas, Arizona.
How was that play? I haven't been there in like 20 years.
It was packed.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. And you know what? It's funny. Those places get really packed on Jets and Giants away games. You know what I'm saying? And so both teams, no, not both teams. The Jets were home. No, the Jets were away.
Yeah,
both away. Are they? Yeah, you're right. Both away. So that's why that place was jam-packed. And there's most trades in Mojo's 5-6 week history. Most trades went down yesterday. Rob crushing it over there. So Sunday slate. Let's get into it. First, starting with the Jaguars and the Giants. This game was gave me Kevin Dyson Super Bowl vibes, man. We're 1 yard short from winning that game. And shout out to Saquon Barkley, who gave him that chance. But again, Saquon knows what he's doing. He did it the week before. He knows to go down. He tried to go down to give himself up, but he steps out of bounds at the end of the night, and they gave Trevor Lawrence a chance to go down. He goes down the field, bink, bink, bink. And then in last, fucking Kirk stopped at the 1. So this was a heartbreaker if you're obviously you're a Giants fan, you're going crazy. I know Bob Papa was on the broadcast. I heard it twice this morning. But yeah, the Giants are 6-1, man. I mean, you said it last week, and the couple guys said it last week that the Giants are still the worst 6-1 team in the league. Gooch, do you still agree with that? I mean, like they were again 1 yard away from losing to the Jaguars. I don't know, man. When do we turn this corner? When do we just say, look, the Giants are good?
Are they the only 6-1 team in the league?
Well, I mean, the Eagles are 6-0.
Well, yeah. So they are the worst and the best because I think they're the only 6-1 team. But yeah, I mean, we saw a little bit of deficiencies in the Giants game again, but I'm not going to sit here and keep talking shit about the Giants. They're 6-1. It makes me sick because everybody else is having like a great old season around me, and I fully expected to be 6-1 right now. Honestly, that's what I expected to be. Looking at we are 3-1 with the Giants, the Jets, and the Commanders on the schedule. It's like 6-1, no doubt. Going to Buffalo, 6-1, big game. If we lose, big deal, 6-2. Now, if we lose, we're 3-5. I don't care about this fucking game.
He's so upset.
I'm sick to my stomach.
Look, all right, we're moving on.
I spent my entire week trying to find like reasons why the Giants weren't good, and they all came true. I was watching the game. I was like, yep, they can't stop the run. Yep, they can't throw.
has a great game.
Yep, they can't do anything right. Yep, Daniel Jones threw another pick. Yep, but then nope, it got overturned. So nope. And then the Giants won the game late, and I was there sitting there with egg on my face at the very end of the Packer game, which also made me sick to my stomach. So all around, not a good hour, not a good month. I haven't.
Hoodie season's whack. You texted me.
Hoodie
season's whack.
Whoever fucking thought of that.
How about the JETS? Jets going 5-2. I mean, there's got to be somebody out there who would have called this. You know, who would have called a 5-2 red hot start. Who would have called that the Jets are going to be a good football team this year. You're looking right at them, folks. I've been saying it since day one, and maybe the road of getting to 5-2 was different than what I predicted, a 5 in a row. But whatever. The Jets are 5-2, guys. The Jets are 5-2, and they're playing good, complimentary football. The only thing is, it's a bittersweet ending for the potential. There's no report yet that not yet.
Coach said ACL, though.
Yeah, Robert Saleh alluded to Breece Hall possibly missing the rest of the season with an ACL. That, my friends, is a crusher because now you rely heavier on Zach Wilson. And while I think Zach Wilson is a good quarterback, he certainly isn't a great one yet. No. And there's been times that I'm like, you know what? Wilson's diverse enough in his game where he can get away from some pass rush, right? And that makes him good. But then, like, the accuracy of the following pass is not good. So, I don't know, man. It's tough to see. But the Jets right now are 5-2. And, look, in a division where they're going to have to run with Miami and run with the Bills, I don't know. I would toss it to Chris first. But, Rob, 5-2, you feeling like
no turnovers in 3 games?
Are you feeling a little blah after that one?
No, of course. And I've been saying I don't believe in Zach Wilson. I haven't seen anything to show me why I should. You want to know when I was really frustrated yesterday? When Corey Davis goes out with an injury, but he can come back in, and then they put Mims in, he gets hurt. So we're down to 3 receivers, and in my head, I'm like, if Elijah Moore's there, where do you think those targets are going? That on Sunday, they're going to him, right. But he's at home crying about being traded. Now he's got to wait till Sunday.
From everything that I've read about Elijah Moore, he's a stand-up guy. Like, he's not this kind of dude that's going to complain, bitch, and moan about his playing time. He's just very frustrated. And while I get it,
but they were 4-2. What are you frustrated for?
Exactly. That's the one thing I'm like, dude, enough. Like, get back on the field.
I saw a great meme, or not even a meme, just a jersey, a picture of a jersey. Yeah. And it was a guy wearing an Elijah Moore jersey, and it was a black jersey. So it had the black thing with the white numbers and white name. And he just took black tape and covered the O-O-R. So it was just M-E. And there was an Elijah Moore jersey turned into just a me jersey.
I like it.
So it's all about me with Elijah Moore.
But let's Sauce again, though. Sauce again stepped up huge. Again,
I mean, apparently, according to Chris, he's roughing everybody every day.
I watched that game. He's pass interfering almost every single play. No question about it. When that last play with the Cortland Sutton play. The Cortland Sutton play at the end of that game was 100% PI. They didn't call it. They let him play. Hey, it is what it is. But there was definitely some significant bump and run going down the field on that one.
The guy hasn't given up a touchdown since like grammar school.
And because I watched the Packers get a defensive touchdown wiped off the board because of a ticky-tacky call, I had another one that was a sack or a pick that would have ended the drive against the Giants. Like, I'm watching these ticky-tacky calls in the secondary, and they are if they're the rules, they're the rules. But, you know, that was pass interference. But to be honest, we all know that Zach Wilson was going to drive right down the field with that Jets.
Listen, it's 5-2. No, we beat the brakes off them. So,
bro, nobody's talking about last week right now. I'm talking about the Jets game and what I saw in that fucking play. Sauce Gardner definitely pass interfered. And then second, I will say this. It's going to be tough for the Jets going forward, but they're a little bit ahead on a rebuild. So regardless of what happens in terms of the rest of their season, you saw a little bit out of these rookies, and it's unfortunate because the truth is that offense was Breece Hall.
Oh, yeah.
And even in this game, it was all Breece Hall. You know, he had
another great run,
touchdown run.
Breece, the guy
he looked like Tomlinson to me on that play. And I know my buddy Joe was like, oh, it's because he's wearing the Jets uniform. I'm like, no, it's because he's catching the ball and he has breakaway speed. He's not the biggest guy, but he's like still
shifty,
still powerful.
Yeah, and he's shifty too.
New England comes to town this week.
Oh boy.
Okay, and then we get Buffalo and then New England again. I don't think.
Oh Jesus Christ!
It's going to be a tough spot for the Jets.
I tell you what, Jets fans.
7-3.
No,
dude, we're gonna beat New England, lose to Buffalo, beat New England.
I don't know. New England.
You're gonna beat New England twice?
Yes.
It's at New England. I don't know, man.
I'm gonna watch tonight.
Next week's home.
The Patriots. Patriots.
If you went 1-2 in that 3-game stretch,
young quarterbacks. That's the one thing I'll say about Belichick. Like, look at his record against guys that are in.
Well, think about this though. Wilson. Think about this big picture. If you go 1-2 in that stretch, if you split with New England and lose to Buffalo, you'll be 6-4. Would you sign up for that?
100%.
Right. So then, like, let's pump the brakes on all the. Yeah. You said they're above and beyond where they're at.
I think they're in for a little tough stretch because no Breece Hall. That changes things a lot. Now you're gonna have to see, is Michael Carter gonna be able to step up and make defenses respect the run game the way Breece Hall was? I doubt it.
That's a good point.
And then when that happens, is now it's like, okay, Zach Wilson, he hasn't turned the ball over because he hasn't been asked to do anything.
Oh, I agree.
Now he's gonna be asked to do something. And you just mentioned the receivers are banged up a little bit. I think that there's definitely cause for concern with the Jets right now. But like you guys are talking, wins are wins, and they got some. So they're in a good spot. I just see with a little bit of the Giants and the Jets right now that they could be playing themselves out of a really high draft pick when they may still need it. And that's not what you that's not like a
right. It's not the goal.
That's a good thing to do essentially because you want to win football games.
If you wind up in the teens, in the mid to high teens, you're like, all right, what was it for at the end of the day? Well, we'll see. But anyway,
changing your culture is important too.
Yes, absolutely.
Winning football is big.
All right, should we talk about this one? Let's talk about this one. Tyler Heineke gets his first start. Is it Taylor? It's Taylor.
Taylor Heineke.
Taylor Heineke gets his first start of this season in replacement of the injured Carson Wentz. I said it from the start that anybody starting over there in Washington over Carson Wentz would be better. Clearly, they were. Terry McLaurin finally showed his face. All right, it's been a couple weeks for that to happen. Should have definitely got a taunting penalty after he caught it over either Jair or I forget who it was, but he looked right at him and was just.
That's fucking.
You want to fucking call it, then call it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just sit there and stare.
I love that shit.
I know you do, but anyway,
do what you got to do.
Doesn't matter.
Make a play.
The biggest thing was, and I said this last week. If the Packers had lose to the Commanders, like where do you see? Like now you got the Bills. It's like, at what point do you think that it's? And I'm not saying the Vikings right now are playing well, but again, they're playing over their head too.
Yes.
But if you go into this like the month of November with 5 losses on your schedule, and you got the rest of the year to play out with no hope in sight, because look, dude, you got to say like there's not a lot of talent on that team outside of the running game and Rodgers. And it's making Rodgers look bad, too, because these guys can't catch and run the right routes and all this other shit. They're a frustrated bunch over there. Break this down, Gooch, because 3 and 4 never felt so shitty.
Yeah, well, I have to say, again, in the first half, there was a play that the same thing with the Giants game where we opened that game up and it's a 3-touchdown game and they have defensive touchdowns taken off the board. That's fucking huge. And then it was the same thing in the Patriots game where we had a big lead and then we make a play, fumble at the goal line. We would have been up 3 scores. And all the way back downfield. So there's like a couple turning points. I don't think that the Packers are as far off as people think. You've seen spots where their offense could be good. For whatever reason, bro, you ready for this stat? When Aaron Jones touches the ball 15 times or more in a game, the Packers are 31-2. All right?
Wow.
What more do you need to see?
Yeah, that you talk about analytics.
What more do we need to see? Was he hurt? No. Right? All right. He actually did everything for the Packers yesterday.
I watched
he caught a touchdown, did he not?
He had. I think he might have caught 2. I know he had 2, but he definitely caught one of them. And he's their by far most trusted receiver at this point, through and through. Aaron Jones. I wasn't on board when they paid him that contract because I just don't believe in paying running backs. But he's lived up to it. I hope they don't let him go after this year because I know there's an out. But as far as this game goes, again, special teams blunders. You can't muff a punt. There's just too many things.
Can't give an extra possession.
Giving extra possessions. And then really the penalty really sucked. There was a couple calls, but at the end of the day, we got our asses beat again in the second half. So if you're not finishing games, and it's like the most frustrating thing in the world to see some lesser quarterback that grew up a Packer fan go to, I'm so tired of that story. It's been happening my entire life. Enough is enough of Packer fans becoming shitty quarterbacks and beating us.
How big are like the drops starting to get? Like who's number 8? That's Rodgers.
Amari Rodgers.
He had a big drop
yesterday
too.
That was a it would have been a touchdown, but he should have caught that ball.
100%,
Aaron Rodgers put it on him. I mean, like he had to extend for it. Wait. So you're in the NFL. I make that catch in flag football left and right. Like, what are we talking about? I'm not just saying that. Like that's a catchable ball. You're in the fucking league. Make that catch. Romeo Dubs. Again, the involvement, great. What's going on, bro? You can't fucking wrangle it. You can't get a hold of the ball. Every time you get touched, the ball squirts up into the air. It's like a pick six waiting to happen. Anytime the ball's near him, terrifying.
Next week, they're already 10.5 points.
Yeah, we saw that
First
spread.
time in Rodgers.
That's some serious.
I'm definitely not. I'm not.
But is that an indication of where the Vegas and where they find Rodgers to be right now, and the Packers?
Yeah.
But
what do you do? What's the sub? You can't punt on 3rd and 4. I mean, on 3 and 4 record. But bro, you're about to get your shitters kicked in by the Bills. It's gonna happen. And if Rodgers can go out there and win a game on Sunday Night Football, then the whole narrative is gonna change because he's gonna say, "Whoop, Rodgers just led the team, beat the Bills."
Look,
great. You lose that game, you're 3 and 5. How are you like Rodgers should be knocking the fucking GM's door down?
I'm not sitting here.
Get me a receiver.
Not sitting here, and based on anything that we've seen so far, particularly out of the Green Bay defense, which not just me, not just you, not everybody expected the Packers defense to be a major strength this season.
What's they doing? Draft capital on it. Yeah.
They still have the ability to turn the corner, I think, defensively once the weather changes and things kind of slow down a little bit. I just need to see it because I'm not going to sit here and rest my laurels on the fact that, the Packers, they do have good players on defense. Like they got to put it together and start winning football games. The NFC is still wide open. There's only 2 or 3 teams that really separated themselves, the Giants being one of them. I'm not really sold on that.
Well, you just think that only the one-loss teams have separated themselves? Huh?
I said 2 or 3
Are you
teams.
Buying this comment? I'm not buying this comment, but
they're an awful second-half team. Aaron Rodgers likes to inflate his stats, so they hardly run. They're constantly passing it within the 5-yard line. The inflation of stats comment, I don't agree with, but yes, the passing within the 5. I mean, like you can't make those decisions.
To make your assessment of like he's making those decisions to inflate his stats, I think is
it's kind of
I'm not buying.
But he's got a point. Bad second-half team and bad play calling.
When you say bad second half, we're talking about like second half of the game. But the Packers are a really good second-half team in terms of November. They don't really lose.
No, he's talking about the game.
So I think because of that, they play well down the stretch lately.
Oh, diehard Bears fan James Silverberg coming in saying it's over.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's been over for you for fucking since '85, dude.
What are you talking about? Our sexy Rexy went to the Super Bowl. Anyway, so that's that game. Sorry for that.
What does that mean?
Victory Monday for some of us over here, including the Jets. Now the Dallas Cowboys get themselves a 5th win of the season as they move to 5-2, take out the Detroit Lions 24-6. This game was annoying as shit in the beginning. Couldn't get nothing going. Dak Prescott looked super rusty. The play calling was super shitty, as typically Kellen Moore likes to do. You knew you had Dak back, so it's like, let's see how many times we can get him to throw a ball. I mean, I'm talking one of the balls. There was a ball thrown to CeeDee Lamb over the middle on a post with 4 blue Lions jerseys around him. What are we doing? So get back to what you were made to do, and that's run the football. And once they did that, the game got out of hand. Shout out to the defense. The Dallas Cowboys took the ball away 5 times in the second half alone, and that hasn't happened for a Dallas Cowboys team since the 52-17 Super Bowl win against the Buffalo Bills in 1992. So it's been a long time since the Cowboys were able to take the ball away 5 times and a half. They're doing it with the defense. They're doing it absolutely with this defense. And now when you look at the NFC landscape as a whole, as you just said, the Eagles sitting there at 5-0, 6-0, whatever they are. Yeah, 6-0. And the Giants at 6-1. The Cowboys are 5-2. First of all, NFC beast, by the way. This NFC division is great. Meanwhile, the NFC South, there's a team under 500 in the lead. But now you look at this NFC landscape, man, and we'll get into the Niners in a little bit with their game. We've already beaten the Rams, already kind of ran with Philly with Cooper Rush. We've beaten the Giants. Why not the Cowboys in the NFC this year? Yes, history will tell you there's a million reasons why it's not the Cowboys. I'm not going to pump the brakes completely, but I'm saying right now, at the 5-2 record, the way they're doing it, I like this team. I like this team a lot. And look, I'm frustrated. If you follow me on Twitter, you have to know that I'm not bipolar by any stretch, but you would think I would be. And this is not a knock on bipolar syndrome or anything like that. I'm just saying I'm a completely different person and I'm a different animal while watching the game on a Sunday. So if you tweet and I see that, I'm going off the reservation because they decided to throw the ball on first down, and the incomplete pass, I'm MFing Kellen Moore until the cows come home. That's just the way I am. It's just how I'm built and wired. But this Cowboys team, 5-2 right now, NFC East is playing very well. But I truly believe overall, grand scheme, Cowboys are the best team in the NFC East right now. I know they lost to Philly, but that was with Cooper Rush. They have not beaten Dak Prescott yet.
You think that offense you saw yesterday would beat the Eagles?
No. No, not yesterday. No.
Who do they play next week?
The Bears.
Oh, okay.
So the get right game was supposed to be yesterday, and it was sort of a get right game. But now the Bears are coming up, and let's see what the Bears do against the Patriots. I don't think the Bears are very good, but then again, my luck, the Bears will fucking shellac them in Dallas. Yeah. So anyway, Dallas gets the win. Your thoughts on the Dallas win? Any flowers for the defense? Anything?
The Lions suck. I told everybody the Lions
He
suck.
scored twice,
I
right?
knew it was going to be a Lions suck comment. I just fucking felt it in my bones.
I mean, the Lions suck. They have one win in like the last 4 years. They cover spreads. They used to.
Yeah, not this time. This guy, the only guy that ride with the Cowboys last week. Everybody was worried about it. But look, Cowboys are playing well. Very good game on paper was the Kansas City Chiefs and the 49ers. This game got out of control. And Kansas City kind of said, this is who we are. And the Chiefs, they're a very, very, very good offense, man. And every single one of them can score. Pacheco from Rutgers got the start yesterday. He got a couple extra carries. Edwards-Helaire scores. Juju scores. Mecole Hardman scores twice. Jesus Christ. They have I almost said, yeah, fuck it. They have a plethora of players and talent at the skill positions. And Mahomes is still all-world good. What happened to the Niners? I feel like Jimmy G, showed his bad side of football a lot yesterday. A lot of pressure on him. Just didn't play well. Took another safety, bro. Like, you got to have some pocket presence.
This is what happens when you score a ton of points on the 49ers. They don't have the offense to play that way. They're not going to keep up in a shootout against Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. It's just not going to happen. For the 49ers to have had any success in this game whatsoever, they would have had to get a couple early stops and put points up immediately. And this way they could kind of just bleed the clock a little bit. They weren't able to do that. And you saw Spagnuolo dialed it up early and often against Jimmy G. They didn't have an answer for it. Christian McCaffrey got spelled into the offense. It looks like Shanahan's looking around the NFC and looking at the division and saying, well, we're going to win this division. We just need to get our footing a little bit. I mean, maybe not blindfolded because the Seahawks do look like they're playing good football right now. The 49ers have dealt with a litany of injuries on the defensive side of the ball that have really made them a lot less than they're playing a lot worse than they're capable of playing because even the guys that are playing are banged up. I don't think it would have mattered in this game. They would have probably been better off just holding some of these guys out to get right. Obviously, that's not the approach going in. You think you could win. But, yeah, the Chiefs are really good. They weren't going to lose this game after getting beat up by Buffalo in the second half of that game. And I know it was a closer game, but I think Buffalo kind of beat them up in the second half.
I agree.
And they were going to bring it, and they brought it. I don't think it's too surprising right now that the Chiefs beat up on the 49ers. But I do think the 49ers are going to start to show a very different side of themselves soon. They're 3-4. I feel like the 49ers are a really good bet to make the postseason at 3-4.
Yeah.
Way better bet than the Packers right now.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of those Seahawks, they get another big win. I gotta say though, and meanwhile, no discredit to what the Seahawks have been able to do. Kenneth Walker III looks like a legitimate running back. Geno Smith looks like he got reinvented too. Their receivers, now you got to be careful. DK might miss some time, I guess. I don't know. Carted off again. I thought he had to go to the bathroom again, but it was not the case. He actually hurt his knee. The Seahawks are doing well. My bigger concern, yes, it's a surprise, right? That's a surprise. My bigger surprise is how bad San Diego, LA is. They're playing kind of piss poor too. When I'm looking at they were my darling pick to get all the way to probably maybe the AFC Championship game. Probably not, but that. What's Justin Herbert doing out there? He lost another receiver, Mike Williams. Keenan Allen's been out for the last freaking 6 weeks. I feel like
sucks.
The coach seems like he can't get these guys to play.
Sorry.
Eckler is an amazing, amazing talent. And that dude touches the ball 40 times a game, and I'm not exaggerating.
No, yes,
20 catches. Yeah. 20 at least 20 carries with 15 receptions, dude. He touches the ball a lot. But again, if a team schemes for that, you got to find somewhere else to go with it. and they just didn't have an answer. It was ridiculous. I don't know, man. The Chargers are worrisome right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're
in a division where they got to go catch the fucking Chiefs.
They're not catching the Chiefs.
That's what I'm saying.
They're a wild card team at best. I don't know if they're even a playoff team. The AFC has some good, talented teams that are kind of on the upstart right now. We see what Miami was able to do with Tua. They're back in the thick and thinking that they're going to be a playoff team. The Chargers they're in trouble. I mean, there's no question about it. Their defense is banged up. Justin Herbert, everybody anointed him as the guy, and I do believe that Justin Herbert's probably one of the most talented players in football, but the pieces around him were kind of nicked up all season long. Keenan Allen's not right. I think he played yesterday, but didn't do shit. And then Mike Williams being hurt, it looks like they're going to probably have to IR him at least for 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. If on the hopeful side of things,
they do have other guys that are capable of making plays. They just don't have the body and the stature of Mike Williams. You're not going to body somebody with one of these underneath receivers. But they do have talent. And they just got to expose it.
Justin Herbert hasn't elevated the play of the teammates around him like you would expect a good quarterback like a Mahomes to do. Right. I think Herbert is, he needs a little more seasoning, but they're in a good spot in terms of what they have moving forward. Just I'm not so sure about this season. I think that they have to get out from underneath that head coach too. I know that there might be some analytics guys that are all in on this door.
Tully coming in saying, "Who would have thought that Danger Russ was the one holding the Seahawks back?"
That's true though.
Let's think about this for a second, right? I mean, I don't know, man. Look at the Broncos. I think there was somebody said something about a chick pick. Oh, Chargers with a chick pick. Yeah, let's see. All right. The Raiders absolutely needed to have this one. They got it again. After an 0-3 start, the Raiders are now, 2-4? So they had a bye already. So 2-4 right now. Josh Jacobs looks like he can win the rushing title at this point. Like he's looking very, very good.
Looks like he's going to.
Yeah, I mean, he's very, very good. And again, contract year, huge for him. Derek Carr making plays when he had to down the field. Devontae Adams, again, this guy is open all the time. Don't know how he gets as open as he does. Doesn't make much sense to me unless he's putting these guys on skates. But in any event, the Raiders needed to have this one. The Houston Texans weren't going into this thing, on the road. Davis Mills, not a good recipe at all. I don't have to take much about this game. The Raiders just took care of business.
Yeah, the Houston Texans run defense is one of the worst in football, if not the worst, not named the Green Bay Packers. And Davis Mills has terrible road splits, and they had to go into Vegas against a desperate team that runs the football well. It was almost like one of the easiest caps I've ever done in my life. Raiders won this one easily. I don't think that the Raiders are like the greatest team because they went out and beat up on the Texans at home, but they did what they needed to do to keep their season alive. So tip your hat.
Yeah, I would say their weak point is their defense, as JD is alluding to. Raiders not going anywhere with that defense. Defense is kind of, hasn't played the greatest.
Yeah, their back end is a little weak, but I do think that their defense has some positive regression coming in terms of the way they get to the passer. Their pass rush was supposed to be like their bread and butter defensively. Mm-hmm. Chandler Jones hasn't really shown up yet. Mm-mm. He might. We'll see how it goes in the second half, but they have positive regression potential for sure in terms of getting to the quarterback.
The Baltimore Ravens get a win over the Cleveland Browns. It was a lot closer than I thought. This game I was like vaguely paying attention to in the left side of my screen when it was on commercials on Cowboys, but I did see the Ravens kept scoring. I think Justice Hill put the ball on the carpet, which is not good. They were without Dobbins. Gus Bus scored. So Gus Bus is officially back. The wheels on the bus officially go round and round again for Gus. So yeah, I mean, look, the Ravens took care of business. The Browns were in this thing. And they can't finish. And I guess credit to their defense not being as good to stop it when they needed to. Again, didn't really watch too much of this game. You try to pay attention to all of them and watch all the highlights you can. But overall, Lamar Jackson didn't have that much of a gaudy day. It was more on the ground than anything else. But again, Ravens get a win. It's a big win for them. It's a division win.
The superstar of this game was the ref that botched the fucking final kick. Did you see that?
No.
So the Browns are lined up for a field goal. What would have been a
game-tying field goal.
56-yard field goal.
Okay.
The Ravens jumped off sides. It should have been moved up to a 51-yard field goal. Instead, they called a false start. And then if you watch the replay, like nobody budged on that offensive line.
No snap infraction or
nothing. It was a terrible call. It should have been a 5-yard penalty move forward. Instead, they moved it back to a 61-yarder, and he missed it. So they got robbed at the end of that game. I'm not saying he makes the kick regardless, but, a 61-yard kick to win the game or to tie it, that's not an easy kick to make. A 51-yard kick or even a 56-yard kick, that's a lot easier kick to make. I know it's only 5 yards, but we all know we watch football.
Watson
That's a big 5 yards.
No, 10 games.
Wait.
Was it 6 or 10?
Watson comes back
6.
week 11.
Oh yeah. All right. So
It's a 9-game. I think they moved 1 game off of it, so it's a 9-game, and then they have a bye in that stretch. So it's like he
Week
comes
11.
back week 11.
Got you.
I
Okay.
know that because I have Murray in one league, and Watson's first start is Murray's bye week, and it's week 11.
Oh, interesting.
What do you think about the Jets reaching out to the Browns for Kareem Hunt now that Breece Hall is out for the year?
That's interesting. Did you read that anywhere, or you just came up with
it?
I
read that.
Who?
Well, just like Twitter, like
Yeah.
Rich Samini.
I can answer this one. What my thoughts on it would be.
I would absolutely kick the tires on that.
I'm not kicking the tires on anybody that's going to cost me money and draft capital on a team that's in a rebuild mode with Zach Wilson at quarterback. Do you really think the Jets right now? You have to ask yourself this honest question, not pandering to the fan base. It's just you.
No. I have an answer
with your people. You make that trade. Does that put the Jets over the hump? The only trade I'm making right now is not to be a little bit better. It's not to make the playoffs. Do I think we're a Super Bowl contender? Yes. I'm making moves. I'm investing potential future capital to go after it right now.
What if the asking price isn't that big?
We don't have to pay him right now either, but we have to obviously send something to them.
You have to give up draft capital
for what Breece has done for us this year.
Give him a 4th or something.
I mean, or something. Is more like it.
No, but what I'm saying is this: if the Jet, like
I wouldn't even give up before.
You said before the Jets were ahead of a rebuild, right? And they are. But like, at what point do the Jets look at themselves in the mirror and say, "Oh, well, hold on, guys! Like, we're 5-2
when they're
playing good
when
football,
they're willing to throw the ball more than 16 times."
But they didn't have to because they had Breece Hall. Now they might have to. But if you add a Kareem Hunt or a backup running back from Cam Akers, somebody like that, why not say that like we could just pick up where we left off?
I mean, all right. Well, Cam Akers.
That's hypothetical.
I think he's like 38th in the league, if not worse, right now. I don't even think he qualifies.
He's gotten 8 snaps, Chris, this year.
But just regardless, his yards per carry for the
guy was a beast in the playoffs. Akers, yes, last year he came back off the Achilles. He was rushing for 80 to 100 yards. Am I wrong? Everybody thought of it was like the craziest story.
I think Sony Michel. I think they had like a lot of backs that got it done in the postseason last year. He wasn't like all the
whatever the case. What I'm saying is, the Jets, if they think that they have their one running back, like if they think they're a running game away from competing this year, go get a running back.
If they think that they are, then they're crazy. If you think that Kareem, I wouldn't do it. I understand it would make for a good fantasy move like Kareem.
And Tully, I'm not. And just so you know, you said no faith in Michael Carter. Michael Carter, we've talked about this length on the Mojo Market Report and on this show. Michael Carter. I was surprised when the Jets even drafted a running back in this past draft because I was believed that Michael Carter would eventually be the guy, right? So and I still think he's good, but you've seen what they've done in 7 games. It's been a Carter Breece show together. You have to keep that in the fold. You can't just go, hey, Mike, you're now the every down back. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? You got to add a piece. And while I'm saying, I don't know the Jets depth chart through and through, but I don't know, is Ty Johnson still there?
Yeah, Ty Johnson still there. Coleman's not there no more, I don't believe, but Ty Johnson's
there, so he can potentially play. But what I'm saying is this: if Woody Johnson and co think that like, hey, we got a shot here to make some actual noise in November, December, you go and add a running back. 100%.
The same way you've had it already, yeah.
100%.
But my counter to that is if you think that you have a shot right now with the way Zach Wilson's been playing, going into Buffalo in the playoffs, going and beating a Kansas City team right now. If that's what you think, then I think you need to reevaluate what you're actually thinking.
So you're missing the point. Yeah. You're missing the point. See, you're saying, do we think that they have a shot with just Zach Wilson? The Jets know they don't. So that's why I'm saying if they think they have a shot because of a running game,
no. And I'm saying
the running back.
And what I'm saying is I don't believe that getting that running back puts them over that hump regardless.
Well, what's the hump?
The hump is getting over is being able to go onto the road, because what you're going to have to do, go on the road in the playoffs and beat a Kansas City team or beat a Buffalo team. If I'm not looking at Kareem Hunt as the player that's going to get me over that hump, I can't realistically give up future draft capital, even if it's a 3rd round pick. I'm just not doing it.
I don't know. I feel like if it was flipped or they were like 3 and 4 or something like that, and you're like, we'll see what we can do.
And then,
but you're 5 and 2. You're a half a game out of first.
If they did it, good. Well, great job. I'm not saying like it's the end all be all. If they're like, I can't believe they invested their entire future. I'm saying I wouldn't do it.
Okay,
that's it. Kareem Hunt would make them a better.
AJ Dillon from the
Kareem
Packers.
Hunt makes them. Kareem Hunt makes them a better team right now for sure. I would 100% trade AJ Dillon for a draft pick right now. 100% fucking percent.
But what if that's your only running back left?
Let's talk about a draft pick here right now.
What are you talking about?
Did you hear?
What if Jones leaves? Is what I'm saying.
that would actually guarantee that they wouldn't cut Aaron Jones. He's signed through 2 more years.
That's true.
All right. Can we talk about Tom Brady and how bad he's playing football right now and how bad the offense looks and how mad I am that the Cowboys lost to this team because they are terrible. Like the Buccaneers offense, Rex Ryan said it best on his show. I saw a little clip on Twitter. He said that the Bucs just look slow. And nobody has any speed. You got Fournette, who's a weight, and you got Tom Brady, and you got Mike Evans, and you got guys that are just big, stocky dudes who can't stretch the field. It's crazy. And now you have a team like the Panthers who were waving the white flag saying the season's over. Here, take Christian McCaffrey. We'll do good next year when we draft some people. And hey, PJ Walker, XFL guy, go out there and do your thing. Bro, how the frick did this happen? How did this happen? How did the Bucs allow themselves to get dropped by the Carolina Panthers?
It's because Byron Leftwich doesn't even know what EPA stands for.
He really didn't after that interview. Yeah, he didn't.
Nor should he. Honestly, no football coaches should be focusing on those things. But I did find it funny to hear that reporter.
Bruce Arians is thinking with his robot chest up in the booth. You remember that thing he used to wear on his chest?
Yeah. I mean, did anybody expect the Todd Bowles situation in Tampa to work out?
I said that from jump. I said, wait a minute. Why is this the guy, like the appointed guy, when Todd Bowles has shown you that he's not a good NFL head coach? You can't think that, oh, well, this is your second stint. This job should have went to Leftwich.
We all know.
That's what I think.
We all know right now, right, that look at the NFC South. Like, you know for a fact Tom Brady's going to be in the playoffs, right?
Oh,
like, they're winning that division. They're going to fix whatever bullshit's going on, and they're going to just creep in, and like all of a sudden the last 2 weeks in the regular season at home, Tom Brady's going to light everybody up, and it's going to be like, oh,
we're still here.
Mike Evans is really good again, and then Chris Godwin's all the way back from injury.
You can never write off. Listen,
and Gronk is back at tight end, and all these things happen.
And typically, you can't write off Tom Brady.
It's a prime example.
You can write off divorced, depressed.
It's a prime
withering
example.
away Tom Brady.
This is Tom Brady. This is honestly Tom Brady's career. It's like win a shit division, get in the playoffs, and get hot at the right time. And guess what? I still think that defense has the ability to completely shut down a team, and they have.
They didn't shut down Chubba Hubbard,
bro. I didn't say that they're going to shut down every team, but if you look at what the Bucs defense has done this year, if you think that they're just a bad defense because they lost this game, then you're not watching. The Bucs defense can be dominant. They can be elite. Their secondary is really good. For whatever reason, it's just when you're not moving the football, it makes things a lot harder on your defense. So if they could just get some first downs and move the ball, not give them the shitty field position every single time they, like that's what's happening right now. It's not the defense right now.
Casey Hammond, man, you get really thorough.
And like giving up 21 points in an NFL game,
that's
that's
not
a lot.
The standard. You're right.
That's not a lot.
But scoring 3 in the NFL is very rare. Okay,
so
you can't put out an offensive performance.
Everybody
like this.
is writing Tampa off.
Nobody's writing Tampa off.
No,
we're saying
everybody
that Tom
is
Brady
writing
looks
Tampa
like
off. Have
shit.
you not been on Twitter? It's like I've literally just been at Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady's eulogy for the last fucking 13 hours. So everybody is writing them off, and that's the internet, and they are right to have fun with this. But I'm writing the Packers off way earlier than I'm writing off the Bucs, because the Bucs don't have a 7-1 or 6-1 Vikings team in front of them, as bad as they are.
True.
Let's talk about the Panthers real quick. We know where they're getting rid of, they're trying to get rid of people for pieces.
I'm sorry.
2 first-round picks were offered for Burns, and they turned it down. Why do you think they would do that? You're getting rid of everybody.
What was that?
Yeah, they turned down 2 first-round picks for Burns.
For Burns, a linebacker Burns.
Well, then they're not trading Burns.
Clearly.
That.
No,
but going anywhere.
You know what's funny though? They'll turn that down, and in 2 weeks they'll be like, Burns was traded for a second and a third and a consultation for. It's like, what the fuck? Wait, what about the 2 firsts?
They didn't take 2 firsts for him. He's not going anywhere. Did you see the movie made to get to the quarterback yesterday?
Oh, Burns is a nasty man.
That's why they're not trading.
Of course
and I can get it. Keep on to one guy. Like that's your guy. Unfortunately for Seattle, it's DK.
I was just gonna say before. I was gonna say before, like Chris is going through it and is mentally just not all with us when he's out here in support of Tom Brady.
I'm not in support of Tom Brady. I'm just telling you exactly what I'm seeing, and
don't write them off.
I'm seeing a team that's reeling, and they're a win away next week from being a sole possession of first place in their division.
You're not wrong,
and like with a defense that I know for a fact is a good defense.
I don't even know who they play next week, but they play the Ravens on Thursday. You think they're beating the Ravens on Thursday Night Football? Short week on old McGillicuddy over there, who has to take Wednesday off because he's old.
Do I think they're beating the Ravens? it doesn't matter really because I've been shit the last 2 weeks. So
what I'm saying is, in generally speaking, they're sputtering out right now, and everybody's quote writing them off. What if they get beat up by the Ravens?
Then
who are coming off a big win over the Browns. You know what I mean?
If you look and you probably look at the rest of the teams in the division, are all going to get beat up by some other team too, and they're going to still be one win away from sole possession of first place. That's the craziness of that division. So until the Bucks at 8-8 or 8-9 in the playoffs, right? Go ahead, have them.
I don't want anything to do with that.
They'll go right to Dallas. Tom Brady will be like, I love it here.
I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, game I mean, not much to this one. The Colts, Matt Ryan, once again, looked old. I picked him to win. Kind of just showed his ugly. The Colts are in trouble again, only because of the sole purpose that if Jonathan Taylor ain't running that rock like he's supposed to, and that offensive line isn't doing what they're supposed to do, I don't know. I can't buy into the Colts anymore. And the Titans will control the clock 9 times out of 10 with a phenomenal running game led by Derrick Henry. This game's a wash for me. Whatever. The Titans aren't exciting me either, but they might by default win this division. You would think.
Yeah, they're 4-2.
That's what I'm saying.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Not me.
Glad we moved past that one. Rob got the vibe.
Rob got the vibe.
I was
like, yeah, I mean, like, whatever. It's the Titans. Anyway, Joe Burrow had himself a little bit of a day. Over 400 yards passing, hooks up with Higgins, Boyd, hooks up with Chase. That just clicking on all cylinders as we expected. The Falcons kind of, showed who they were too. But then again, like last week, they're taking care of the 49ers. It's a weird NFL year, man. It really is. But the Bengals are catching fire at the right time. And I think they're playing really well. I mean, overall, just Joe Burrow's that dude. And he's been that dude since he got into the league.
Yeah, so. There was like the one bright spot for the Falcons last year was that they had like a decent secondary, all things considered. They had A.J. Terrell was shutting it down on his side. A.J. Terrell left that game fairly early, didn't return, and they made them pay. I don't know, man. Like this is one of the things that I liked a lot this week, and it actually made me look good for a change because I've not been doing well. But the Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, we all know what that offense is capable of. The defense did a good job yesterday shutting down what is like a very committed run team, and it's just not going to be enough when you're going up against teams that put up points as fast and as early and as often as the Bengals did yesterday. The Falcons have no shot in that type of game.
No, and they don't. And it looks to me that that division is going to be a 2-team race between the Bengals and the Ravens, as most of us predicted. But again, you had alluded to it in the first couple of weeks of the year with the woes of the Bengals was Joe B was holding on to the ball too long and he was getting racked around. Now that he's firing that ball off and getting rid of it and finding his open talent on the outsides, as me and Rube now alludes to it, he's that dude, bro. It's gonna be hard to stop.
Fuck you, Rube.
Hard to stop. So finishing off the week with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins. As Tinder has entered the building. Listen, this game to me, Tua comes back. First of all, it's like you're putting me in a bad spot, Tua. You're me being so concerned about your well-being, and then you're out there going headfirst into a couple of the plays. I'm like, dude, learn how to slide, my man. You're gonna die. Yep. Like one more bad hit, and you are kaput. So stop, knock it off. But
stop it.
What?
No, he did. He
put his shoulder down. So he should stop playing football and being tough.
I mean, like, if he didn't, yes, he should not stop playing football and being tough. It would be like saying, dude, you just got knocked out and like you're going to fight again. It's like, this is what they do. Him going in there and playing football, I expected to see exactly that. What I didn't expect was his interview that he gave the week before that, where he was talking like very candidly about not knowing where he was. We don't need to hear that.
I mean, he's just shedding light on a big issue. That's all. Concussions are a big deal, but it's
darkness on a big issue.
Is there light to be shed on concussions? Like, get yourself a concussion. It's a fun time.
I mean, like, but the point that I'm making is like now we're having you're like, oh, you're in a blender because it's like, oh, Tua's going to make a football play. It's like there was really nothing crazy about what he did. It's only because he was sparked a couple weeks back.
Yes,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. What are you doing? 2 weeks, 3 weeks removed.
But my point is like, bro, there's been like 11 guys that have had concussions and cleared concussion protocol in that time. And like the only reason why we're talking about Tua's making a head first dive for a first down was because we saw what happened publicly. It's just normal to me. It's football. Well, who was the concussion guy from like Renfro
the
played
concussion
yesterday,
guy.
right? He was out for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like
But he's a receiver.
It's even worse.
No. I just think
as a quarterback, you have a choice to avoid a hit. You slide. That's why they implemented the slide.
I mean, you could avoid getting hit no matter who you are.
Oh my God. You're just missing it again. This is missing point Monday here at Chop.
Missing it, and you're not missing my point.
No. I understand. You're the Mr. Tough.
No.
Put your shoulder down. Football.
It's what it is. I'm consistent. I'm not saying like 1 week that to me him making a head first dive, him standing in the pocket and getting whipped to the ground was what hurt him. Him diving head first for a first down. I don't even think that was like a bad play. Like I don't even think he got hit that hard. He initiated. The other guy got the worst of that.
Again. He initiated it. Be smarter. Don't do that kind of shit. You're 3 weeks removed from concussion. That's like any other running quarterback who's coming off an ACL. You think he's going to just take off his first run? No.
Then they shouldn't have cleared him.
Oh, my God. Anywho, I can't talk. It's like you're missing the whole. I know everybody's gonna let him dive. Okay, yeah, no, I know shit. I understand the game of football. You want more yards, you got to dive forward. That's the rule. I get it. But you just got your brain scrambled 3 weeks ago. Okay, and now you're back in the game and you're putting your shoulder down.
Yeah,
I don't find it to be smart. I'm not. Everybody under the sun was holding their breath when he took off and ran last night. Everybody was like just way up, and then you go down, he gets up, he says, yeah, first down. And you're like, all right, he's good. Let's not do that shit again. Don't be stupid. And he does it again. So
I think the reason why they even held him out last week was because of it. You know what I mean? Like, I think when you clear a player, it's like you expect like he's going to get hit in the head in the football game. Like, so them clearing him, to me at that point, I'm like, all right, he's good. That's the way I thought about it the entire time.
And medical professionals will tell you, yes, he's good to go. But as somebody, myself, who has been diagnosed with plenty of these things, okay? Like, you just don't want to do that. You just don't want to put yourself in harm's way. Go to commentary to it like I did. So anyway, let's move it on. The Dolphins played well, and I have to say before we get to the Monday night game, there's a chance that Kenny Pickett might not be good. I don't know. I know it's very early, but there was a lot of throws that I'm just like, oh God.
Oh,
like,
Jimmy said Dave's right, so I guess Dave's right. Jimmy, nobody fucking asked, bro.
No, I did.
The Steelers dropped like 3 picks too,
bro. Right in their
like
bread baskets,
about
dude.
Being cleared. You're cleared.
Bread basket, bro. They dropped so many opportunities to win that game. Yeah, I mean, Tua was handing you this game on a silver platter. But again,
but I'm interested to see like what the Dolphins are going to look like in like the next 2-3 weeks. Like, see if Tua picks it up quick and they start moving again. You know what I mean? Like they were playing
ready for next week's game for Tua. The Detroit Lions.
Oh, see.
So there you go. We'll be well off with Tua as your quarterback. Just be smart. That's all.
Chris doesn't have kids. He doesn't understand. You know what I'm saying?
That's really the name of the game here. That's the only reason why I bring such light.
Bad. Jimmy the most right now.
Anyway, all right, moving into Monday Night Football, this barn burner of a matchup between the New England Patriots.
-8.
What?
Is that right?
That's right, man. 8-point favorites against the Chicago Bears in New England. I know Jay Silva's going, and he might actually wear his. What the fuck is his name? The jersey that I gave him? He got it today.
The Covert.
Covert. He might wear his Jimbo Covert jerseys in the game. Signed jersey, courtesy of the Break Buds. But anyway, yeah. So this game, Mac Jones is back. That's a plus for them, I think. I don't know. You're pulling the plug on Bailey Zappi. He's been doing pretty good. I don't know. I don't think Mac Jones warrants just a automatic removal. He doesn't make that kind of money. He's not Dak Prescott. I'm just saying. If they go out there and fall flat, watch out for the Zap attack. But I'm all in on the Bears tonight to cover this number. Actually, I think I haven't made my decision yet in this moment. But the Bears, again, Mooney coming on a little bit, Montgomery a little bit, but this game's in New England. Statistically, historically, Belichick usually has fun with games like this, and he might handle the Bears. You see that playing out this way?
I mean, I'm in like deep in a survivor chance right now, and I need the Bears to win. I don't give a fuck about the +8 or the -8. I don't think the Bears are going to win. I think the Patriots' pass defense is so good, and it's just going to make it to where the Bears don't even think whatsoever about throwing the football. And conversely, their run defense is so bad that the Patriots won't think about throwing the football either. And one's going to have success, one's not. I think that the Patriots could easily blow this team out. I'm going to hope for the Bears to win, though. I'm definitely not betting the Bears. I would lay the 8 before I faded them. Before I faded the 8.
Are you taking the Bears?
No, I'm going to take the Patriots for this show, but I'm going to root for the Bears tonight.
Why would you root for the Bears?
You listen. I have the.
I guess I was spaced out for a second.
I advanced in 12 teams out of 18.
Oh, Survivor. Sorry.
Have the Patriots pick tonight, and there's a lot of money in this. So
all right. Whose Survivor pool was that?
That would be the the Chop Sports Survivor that's run through Endless Landscaping. But I don't know if that's how we're promoting this. So it's the Survivor pool that we got all going on. It's the $70,000.
Guess it was bounced from the Reviver pool yesterday. This guy who picked Tom Brady, you piece of shit, cost him all sorts of money.
Maybe
all right,
this point,
go Bears for you.
18 teams left, and I have not used the Chiefs, the Bills, the Eagles.
Coast, baby, coast.
All right, so Gooch is taking the Patriots tonight. Rob, I'm skipping right over me for this
is
one.
like bobbing for like razor blade apples. I don't want to do it, but I have to have faith in Chicago tonight. I'm seeing that they're saying in the chat here that Belichick can't really play good against mobile QBs, they think. So we're going to trust Tully here and go with the Bears. And Justin
Tully's been like 1 for 8 in his comments.
What do you mean? First of all, Tully, you're a brand new watcher. I appreciate you. Maybe you were somebody.
I still appreciate you watching.
Maybe you were somebody that we met at Nata one day, which would be really cool if you're tuning in for the first time via that. So like that video, by the way. We love you for watching. You're the man.
I'm going to find you, Tully.
He talks something shitty about
Jimmy Palumbo, don't leave the chat when we're done talking about this. I got to tell you about the worst fan base in the world.
First of all, Jimmy, you also said 6-1 ... 4-3. Who is 4-3? Maybe. If he's talking about the Packers, Jimmy, they're 3-4.
Reverse that.
He's not talking about the Packers. He was talking about the Cowboys there, and then the ... like. What's the Packers record? It's just a shitty.
I don't see the Cowboys anywhere. Cowboys are 5-2.
Again, if you would let me finish, it's a shitty attempt at a burn because he didn't even get the Cowboys record right.
But I don't think he was talking about the Cowboys there. I don't. I think he was more or less saying the separation between the Packers and the Giants. I'm just saying what I'm thinking. All right, I'm gonna go with
Giants and Rutgers. He said.
Oh, Giants and Rutgers. Oh, okay, got it. So nothing to do with us. We're selfish for thinking that he's talking shit.
He's talking about like fucking high school football. Nobody cares about fucking Rutgers, dude. Listen, the hell with this shit. Bear down. Let's go Bears. Rutgers has like 13 fans.
I'm going with Tully.
They scored more points than they get fans.
It was embarrassing.
Jimmy was one of them.
They were like, every fan you went up to was like, yeah, Rutgers is going to lose. Rutgers is going to lose. Every Rutgers fan. No, they're going to lose today. They're going to lose every one of them.
Really? You should just listen to put Jimmy Palumbo in the Mojo vehicle and have him do stand up.
What do you think he's going to talk good about Rutgers?
I'll tell you what. That's
Jimmy,
right.
The Rutgers. Jimmy knows exactly where I'm at right now. He should know better.
They got Michigan coming in 2 weeks.
Oh my God! Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Well,
did they win this week?
Yeah, they beat Indiana.
Hoosiers.
First
Hoosiers.
Big 10 home wins in 1,822 days. That's not a fucking joke. That's like 6 years.
Oh man. Chris packed away all his Packers gear, shirts, hats, socks.
All in the attic.
Oh man, it ain't over. Listen, it ain't. He's doing the line, the Leonard laugh.
The Kawhi.
Yeah, the Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard. Oh man, what a fun show, huh? We're all enjoying a victory Monday. Everybody's having a good old time. Don't worry, it's over after today. Now tomorrow is a new week, new start. The Yankees aren't playing anymore. They can't hurt you anymore. They can't hurt us anymore. But yeah, let's go. Let's rock. So thank you guys for joining us. Like the video, please. Tell your friends about us if you liked what you see. We go live Monday, Thursday, Friday. This week, just Monday, just Friday. We'll do our picks and leans on Friday afternoon. Or Friday morning, sorry. But yeah, for that,
pick Thursday's game real quick while we're here.
Nah, it's too early. What I'll do is maybe I'll do like a live thing real quick on Thursday where we don't go show heavy. We'll make our picks, and I'll make sure I get Tim Anthony over there to continue his winning ways at 7-1. It's too early to pick that game because injury reports and all this other shit. So we'll make those picks in a little bit. The Knicks are back. That's right, Jimmy. How about that home fucking opener? All right, for Sturch, Gooch, Rob, Anthony, Ash, everybody here at Chop Studios. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys Friday.
No, Break Buds next week, right, Chris? They're asking next week, next Thursday.
No, yeah, next Thursday.
Joe will be live Tuesday night on Instagram. I know that.
Yeah,
if
we'll
anybody's asking.
just guys follow us on Instagram and go there because even if no matter what I say here, you guys all message me confused. So
what's up, guys? Let me tell you what we got going on this week.
Yeah, this is not the time. This is not the time right now to talk to me about break buds. Oh, break buds, we're doing great. Yeah, Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Venmo me.
Every
How about that?
Good night. Good morning. Good night.